Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Potted Plant Entertainment. My name is Chris, and in case you don't know, I review movies, and I rank them on a scale of 0 to 100 in increments of 5. Today, we are going to be talking about my most anticipated film of 2021. And now that I've seen that movie, I can't... Well, that was not supposed to happen at all. And now that I've seen that movie, I can't believe that this was my most anticipated movie of the year. I have proof that I went to see this. Here is my proof. Matrix 4. Seat G10. Theater 16. Today's date. Lana Wachowski, you have taken a knife and just, to me, what have you done? What have you done? Whoa! This wasn't just bad. This was atrocious. I mean, whoa, this movie sucks. And we're gonna talk all about it. Look, The Matrix. This movie is probably one of the top 20 best movies of all time. It revolutionized filmmaking. It's a benchmark film. It means a lot to me. It really, really does. The people, I just wish I was there when this movie came out. My mom was pregnant with me when the first movie came out, so I was alive, you know. But it would have been nice to have experienced this movie when it was new. I mean, I remember I talked to one of my coworkers once about what it was like. He remembers what it was like when it came out and how awesome it was. And I wish I could have experienced that. And I was alive with the other two, but I was too young. I mean, I was playing with cars and stuff, you know, because I was like 3, I think. 2 and 3, maybe. And the sequels aren't that bad. I actually really like The Matrix Reloaded. I think it's pretty fun. And The Matrix Revolutions, I mean, it's alright. I enjoy it. I really like the action, the fight scene between Neo and Agent Smith at the end of The Matrix Revolutions. That's a really, really awesome fight scene. Probably one of my all-time favorites. I know it's CG heavy, but I really like it. It doesn't beat the one in the first one, obviously. Nothing about the sequels beats the first one, but they are good movies. They're good movies. The first one is one of the best movies ever made, and the sequels, they are good. I like them. And then there's this movie. I could not wait for this movie. I was looking more forward to this than I was for Spider-Man. You know what? No. This movie... No, that's the wrong one. This movie doesn't deserve pretty lights. So, you know what? No pretty lights for this video. No pretty lights. Because this movie doesn't deserve the pretty lights. Okay? I'm pissed off. let's talk about The Matrix Resurrections, shall we? The Matrix Resurrections stars Keanu Reeves, Carrie-Anne Moss, Yahya Abdul Matpen II, Jonathan Goff, Jessica Henwick, and Neil Patrick Harris. It was directed by Lana Wachowski, and it was produced by Bruce Berman, Jesse Ehrman, Garrett Grant, Terry Needham, Michael Sullivan, and Karen Wachowski. And this movie, well, the plot is kind of kept under wraps, but you know what? This is gonna be a spoiler-filled video, by the way, for anyone who's wondering, because I don't want to talk about this movie ever again after this, and I couldn't think of a way to talk about how much this movie pissed me off without spoiling it, okay? So we're just gonna go into all the juicy details, and we're gonna rip this movie a new one. So, before I do that, let's talk about the good things about this movie. Don't worry, this won't take long. First thing, the visuals are very good. It's a very pretty looking movie. There's some cool moments toward the end. You see in the trailer this whole sequence with helicopters. That moment is actually pretty good. It's nice to see Neo and Trinity back together again. I love that duo. They are really good together, and it was nice to see that again. And then the special effects were really good. Told you it wouldn't take long. All right. Oh boy. Oh, I am ready. I am ready. I just, you know, I could have done my reviews for House of Gucci and West Side Story and maybe even another Christmas special before I did this video, but you know what? No. We're gonna talk about this movie and why I hate it. I hate this movie. I hate this movie. I hate this movie. So firstly, Lana Wachowski. I don't know why Lily wasn't involved with this, but Lana Wachowski, please don't make any more Matrix movies. I don't know if they're planning a whole new trilogy or not. They kind of left the ending open for a trilogy, kind of. But if they do make more Matrix movies, please let someone else direct it. Please let someone else direct it. I mean, you need to not. You need to not. Okay? This is really, really bad. Okay? You don't direct any more Matrix movies. Please, I'm sure you're a nice person and all, okay? I got nothing against you personally, but please don't make any more Matrix movies. Please let someone else do it. Thank you. I would appreciate it. Okay. So, I got a lot to talk about, so let's get into it. So, for one thing, the action in this movie kind of sucks. It kind of sucks. There's a lot more cutting in it than there is in the action sequences in the other ones. You can tell that it's the actors usually. Sometimes their faces are out of frame, and so it's obvious that they're using stunt doubles, which is disappointing because the other movies didn't do that. And they're not really that impressive. They are somewhat impressive, but they're not memorable at all. I can remember every single action sequence from the first movie. I can even remember some of the ones from the other ones. Like, the second one has some great action sequences, you know, the exception of the balloon Agent Smith guys. Like the one where he's fighting all the guys in the room with the stairs in The Matrix Reloaded. That's really great stuff. Yeah, good movies. This one, bad. Yeah, I'm not gonna remember any of the action sequences in this movie. They're not, there's nothing memorable about them. And they're not as nearly as well made as these movies that are 20 years older. Also, I noticed that stuff breaks really easily in this movie. Like, at the beginning, this girl whose name I didn't even care enough to remember, she gets knocked into, like, she's on this building, and she gets knocked into, like, some stone, and just the mere force of her back hitting it is enough to, like, shatter it, because that makes so much sense. Also, the script for this movie sucks, and we're going to talk about more as to why, but the story in general sucks. Neo doesn't remember anything because they brought him back to life for so that he can like fuel the Matrix, because like if they make his life miserable, manipulate him, or not miserable, but if they manipulate him, they found that they can make more energy out of him. And it's like he he like made a video games trilogy called The Matrix, and they have to bring him back and make him remember things. What? It's so stupid. I hate it. Also, this is probably like one of the weirdest things I've ever seen in a movie. There's a scene in this movie where they're on a train, and people on the train are wearing masks, like COVID masks. Now, I know that this movie was being filmed when the pandemic hit. They had to take a filming pause because of the pandemic. But why were characters in the movie wearing masks? Or not characters, but like extras. We're actually like in the train sequence that you see in the trailer, they're wearing COVID masks. Why? Why would you put that in the movie? What were they thinking? No one wants to see that. That's so incredibly weird and dumb, and it makes me so mad. Okay, so this movie is also completely unoriginal. It relies way too much, especially on the first one, to fuel it. And it follows a lot of the same story beats as the first one, except it's just done terribly. What in the world? Ugh! So bad! Ugh! Also, so you get to see like footage from the video games that Neo designed in the movie, but get this, and I'm sure you watched the movie, so you know this. It's just footage from the first movie. Oh my gosh. Just be calm. Be calm. Be calm. Woosah. Woosah. Bad Boys 2. Woosah. Okay. Now, let's see. Also, and I'm sure they explained it in the movie, and I just didn't pick up on it, but I didn't really understand how the Matrix was back, or if it even ever went away. I didn't really pick up on that. Maybe I'm just stupid, but I didn't pick up on that at all. This movie's really boring at times. At some point, I got really bored. Also, the new Agent Smith and the new Morpheus both suck. So, like, you find out that, like, the dude who says, and after all these years to go back to where it all started, back to the Matrix, who, by the way, he was just talking about a video game, not the actual Matrix, so that's false advertising, and I'd like to file a lawsuit if you don't mind, Warner Brothers. Anyways, yeah, so they're the new Agent Smith and the new Morpheus. They explain why they look different in this movie. I just didn't understand it, nor did I care enough to even try to understand it. But they both suck in the movie. I didn't like them, especially the new Agent Smith. I thought they were bad in the movie, and they just didn't have any of the same charisma or likability as Lawrence Fishburne. And what's his face who played Agent Smith? Can't remember his name right off the top of my head. Yeah, they were bad in the movie. Let's see. Also, the music in it, it's good, but it's not near as memorable as the music from the other three. There's a couple attempts at humor at this movie, and it just completely falls flat. It's not good at all. Also, the lighting in this movie at times is really bad. Like, you seen the trailer where, like, Neo is fighting Morpheus in, like, a dojo thing, because, again, they're just recycling ideas from the first movie. But, the lighting in that scene wasn't very good. It's like the whole time you're watching it, it's like the sun is in your eyes. And then, like, when Neo is talking to Trinity in one scene, like, kind of like at the end of the second act or beginning of the third act, it's like, you know, like when you're watching a movie on your laptop and you bend the screen back, and so everything looks like super dark, but you can still see the shapes of things. That's what it looked like. It was really bad. Also, getting out of the Matrix is never explained in this movie. So, like in the original, you had to go to a phone booth, right? And you had to pick up the phone and put it to your ear when someone outside of the Matrix called it, and it would suck you through the phone. Well, in this movie, the camera just cuts away and they're out of the Matrix. Through most of this movie, I just wanted it to end. I'll be completely honest. At some point, I turned to my girlfriend and I said, "When is this movie gonna end?" Because I just wanted it to be over. I hated it. This movie was so bad that even when there was a cool reveal, which there was one or two, I just didn't care. I really didn't. My girlfriend was like, "Oh!" I was just like, "Oh my god, fucking curse!" This movie, like, so again, I couldn't follow the plot at times as I was explaining with like some of the other stuff. But again, this movie was just so bad that I didn't care enough to figure it out. So Trinity has like a family in this movie, right? And they come together and they're like, I think they were saying that their daughter got hit by a car. And they were like, "You gotta come with us right now." But they don't even bother to question why she's there, surrounded by cops. And then, like, when all that stuff pops off and you find out that her husband is actually, like, a program Mr. Smith-like dude, the kids just disappear from the scene. Oh, God, this movie sucks. So you also see, like, some new things that Neo and Trinity can do in this movie. They have like some new powers. But they never bothered to explain where they got these new powers and how they're doing them. They didn't care. They didn't think that we would maybe want to know how they're doing these new things. No, it's just, nah, it's not important. It's not important. So at the end of the movie, Neo and Trinity are like, "We're gonna redesign the Matrix and make it the way we want it." And even after the movie, my girlfriend and I were like, "Well, why wouldn't they just destroy it? Like, take people out of it?" Now, I thought about it for a little while, and I was like, well, Morpheus explained in the first movie that some people would probably just die from shock if you took them out of the Matrix. You can't take everyone out of it, because some people would, like, rather just stay. So I get that. But it's like, what are they gonna do with it now? They were talking about, like, adding rainbows to the sky and stuff. It's a very good question. I'll give the movie that. These two own the Matrix now. So what should they do with it? That's a good question. And I'm sure that'll be explored in the other ones that they might possibly make. And if they do, hopefully the Wachowskis don't make it. Let's see. Also, it was extremely predictable that Neil Patrick Harris and what's his name? Jonathan Groff were gonna be villains. I saw that coming even before I saw the movie. It's just obvious. Also, why couldn't so like I was talking about how they had some new powers and like the hand touching things. They touch each other's hands and then it like goes and it pushes everything away that's around them. Why couldn't they do that in the other ones? I don't understand. Why was it prophesied that there's only the one, if now there's two? So Trinity is the one, and like they like feed off of each other. That's a cool idea, I guess. I mean, I guess they kind of had to do that in order to come up with an excuse to bring Trinity back to life too. But it's like, well, every time they touch each other's hands, it's like boom, it's cool and all. But why can't they do that in the other ones? And again, why was it prophesied that there were the one when there's actually two? And so at the end of the movie, when they both jump off the building, Trinity suddenly begins to fly, and she's got a hold on Neo, And it's like, well, why couldn't Neo fly in that moment? Why just Trinity? And then, again, they just fly up and they're out of the Matrix. They didn't have to go to a phone booth or anything. Now, I understand they couldn't keep the phone booth thing because it's 2021. So no more phone booths. But they couldn't have come up with a way. Like, it doesn't make any sense how they just leave the Matrix when they want to. That doesn't make any sense. This movie is atrocious. I mean, wow. Bad. I hated this movie, and I just, as a fan of The Matrix, I'm so let down. This movie was pointless. This was so pointless. Why did they make this movie? For money? Well, you're probably gonna get it, so mission accomplished, I guess. I'm going to give The Matrix Resurrections a 30. I'm so sad. I just wanted this movie to be great. I never expected it to be as good as the first one. But I was really hoping it'd be better than the other two. And it was much worse. I mean, I'm in shock at how bad this movie was. I didn't hate it as much as I hated Wonder Woman 1984, and believe me, I went easy on that movie in my review. But this was really bad. I don't recommend going to see it. I don't recommend watching on HBO Max. I don't even recommend buying it when it comes out on DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K. I don't. You don't need to watch this. It's a pointless entry to the franchise. I hated every moment of this movie, and I could tell early on that this movie was gonna suck. I could tell right out of the gate, actually, that this movie was gonna suck. Yeah, this was pretty atrocious. Probably definitely one of my least favorite Keanu Reeves movies. Probably one of my least favorite movies of all time now. Yeah, seriously, it was. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna go cry myself to sleep now, so thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to Pod Player Entertainment for more. Hit the like button. Leave me review suggestions in the comments down below. I might review the sequels at some point. I would certainly like to, but I've already reviewed the first one twice. So I will make a Matrix playlist if you would like to watch those videos. One of them I did a cool opening sketch where I did a parody of a fight scene of, like, the type of fight scenes you would see in the Matrix. I made that with a couple of my friends. We worked hard on that, and we were pretty proud of the way it came out. Yeah, so leave me review suggestions in the comments down below. Follow me on Instagram at Player Entertainment for channel updates, and much love. Except to you, Wachowski. I'm looking at you. You get no love. You hurt me. You hurt me with this piece of crap. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go.